Hello, coming in. So, want to come in really quick and just do a brief cosmic update for the month of June. Okay, so we're already, well, 9 days in, going into the 10th, which is midweek. We're at the last quarter moon right now, so it's about half and half, headed into the new moon. Okay, that's gonna hit, I think, let me verify. It is on the 15th. So that's on Monday. So it will be new moon, and that's in Gemini. So if you saw my video earlier about today, 6/9, it's supposed to be a very lucky day. Um, there was a couple things that came up about it, being conjunction with Jupiter and also with Venus, and big cycles and things like that shifting for um, June. And then we actually have an eclipse. I want to say that's coming up. Let me look. It's not telling me right here, but let's look at monthly calendar. So just so you know, well, what the crap? Hold on. Okay, here we go. So here is the June horoscope. All right. So focusing on Gemini and then going into Cancer season later this month. Cancer is a water sign and it is a cardinal sign. The cardinal signs start the season. So it's going to be starting summer. So some of the opportunities for June, focusing on self-love and reflecting on your personal journey. Some of the challenges could be tuning into your heart and also finding transformative healing resources. So it says in June, we're being asked not to rush. We're being asked to listen more carefully to what's forming beneath any noise. Okay, so Mercury is already in Cancer. It started on June 1st. So that is going to be dealing with our memories, our intuitions, and our emotional truth. Conversations could be sensitive, or sensitive topics may come up. Decisions may feel harder to make. Also, it's a time to notice how our nervous system may try to explain things away. Juno is going retrograde. That's kind of, Juno, I think, is an asteroid. I'm not sure. But it says Juno is actually bringing relationship patterns up. Okay. Could be dealing with commitments, agreements, expectations. Okay. It can reveal where loyalty has become a habit, where compromise has become self abandonment, or where relational contracts may no longer match who we are becoming. So that's interesting. And then let's see, on June 12th, Uranus is coming into the picture. Says it can feel like a sudden break in the break in the script. This is a time where we thought we were moving forward, but you may suddenly feel small. The point is not to react impulsively, but to notice where life is trying to liberate you from the wrong direction. Then on the 13th, Venus is entering Leo. So Venus is bringing us closer to our confidence, our desires, and emotional reviews. It reminds us that love needs to feel alive. We may crave more affection, beauty, romance, or recognition. It's time to be honest. Let your heart be seen without turning it into a theater. All right? And then new moon in Gemini. That's coming in actually on the 14th, late night that night, 14th into 15th. Okay? And that is a new moon in Gemini. It's going to be full of ideas, questions, conversations, and new directions. Temptation here is to scatter your energy. So, the message is to dive deeper and to choose one or two ideas that still feel alive after the noise settles. New Moon in Gemini doesn't need overthinking, it needs selection. Not every thought deserves action. Not every possibility is a path. With the Gemini mind being so active, the task is simple. Catch the ideas that have substance and give it structure. On the 19th, Chiron entering Taurus. Chiron is moving slower, dealing with a healing process that's dealing with security, survival. Can also deal with your money, your self-esteem, food, even places where you don't feel safe. This healing is not abstract. It comes through the body, through patience, through rebuilding. Okay? And then on the 21st, we jump into Cancer season. Okay? And that is going to be the summer solstice. Okay? So after a lot of mental movement, Cancer asks us, what actually nourishes you? What do you need in order to be safe? This is a time to return to your roots, not hide from life. Then on the 28th, Mars enters Gemini. This can be an exciting time for speech, ideas, movement, debates. Also, excellent time to write, learn, plan, and communicate. It can also be a time of impatience, scattered focus, or sharp words. The mind is very quick and wisdom is slower. Okay? And then at the end of June, Mercury retrograde in Cancer. Okay? So it's going to ask us to review our conversations, our family dynamics, our memories, and our decisions. This retrograde takes us back into the past, but not to trap us there, but to help us understand what still shapes our reactions. Be careful with assumptions. What can feel true may be emotionally charged rather than fully clear. Okay? And then at the very end, full moon is in Capricorn on June 29th. So Capricorn moon is asking us to look at what has been held, what has failed, and what still needs to mature. This full moon may feel heavy because it highlights tension between the emotional and the inner. wait, between emotional needs and outer responsibility. Okay? So, to wrap it up, it says this month we may see where our discipline has been missing or where our avoidance has cost us. Okay? So, that's dealing with the full moon to release things from the month, right? So it says to ask you to build something sturdy, not being vulnerable, but making space. Okay. And then at the end of June, Jupiter enters Leo. Okay. So that's a good thing. When Jupiter is in Leo, it opens a new chapter around your self expression. It asks you to live more generously from your heart, to create, to lead, to risk being seen. Remember that joy is not superficial when it comes from sincerity. Okay? So it says the tone of June is clear. First we listen, then we question, then we choose, then we mature. This month is not only about sensitivity and mental noise, but it ends with a large invitation into your creative courage. Something is being reorganized and something is being reorganized between your mind, your heart, and the life you're building. Okay, so some of the best actions to take, especially coming up for, I'll say this, well, we'll say for next week, because it's all pretty much starting up with the new moon. It says choose clear intentions or a conversation to be had. Keep it simple. Don't have too many options or it will dilute the energy. Okay? So, and then later in the week, it's telling you to pay attention to your body, your money, your self worth, and your stability. Okay? And then towards the end of the month, it's letting you know to release impossible standards, emotional suppression, and definitions that leave no room for you. Okay? So it says June may feel complex, but it ends by asking us to remember what makes us feel alive. Okay? So, good little message for June. Let's see if we got any. We'll just do a June tarot spread. Alright, let's see. Let's find a short one. Alright, pause. Alright, I'm back. So, we're just gonna do the month ahead spread since I couldn't find one that was specific for June. So, let's see. The month ahead spread, we got 3 questions. Let's see. I don't really like that one. Hold on. Alright, never mind. We'll just do it. Month ahead, first question. What is the main theme for the rest of the month? Number 2, what's your best mental advice? And number 3, what's your best action advice? Alright? So, let's use the light seers and see what comes up. simple month ahead spread. So what are some of the main themes that we need to deal with for the rest of the month? What might we need to know for the rest of the month? It says the main developmental theme. Ugh, there's gonna be too many. We'll go with this. Wheel of Fortune. So we love this. So this is about us getting in our highest alignment, our best path forward, what we need to do to, rise to the top. Okay, so that's interesting because, of course, it's a good thing. What is our best mental attitude to cultivate? This is good too. So, mentally cultivating, this is like having a positive mindset, having a mindset that's like uplifting, okay? Somebody that is supportive, somebody that is, thinking for the bigger picture, okay? Somebody who has um attitude of partnership, okay? An attitude of loyalty, okay? So, I would say that's pretty good. And then last but not least, what's our action advice? Oh, now that's interesting. Action advice. So we're going to look at this one deeper. Because this is not really an action card. This is a card of mental. So what we would do here, the only action that's in this card is her screaming. All right? So we may have to mentally, verbally release. Okay? Because again, it's our heart has been tied up, possibly with pain, possibly with sadness, certain things from the past, and we have been healing, but of course, it's an ongoing process. So you might need to scream it out. Okay? Let's look deeper. And then we have this Eight of Wands reversed. So now this is interesting because Eight of Wands reversed could be, yeah, you're screaming, you're upset, you're mad because you've been missing opportunities or you haven't been feeling aligned in the past. So let's see, what other action advice do we need to take to achieve this Wheel of Fortune? Which is really good because we were saying something about Jupiter shifting. I think it said Jupiter is going into Leo season. So Leo is very much bold, ambitious. They put themselves out there in certain ways. So, what other action plans do we need? And I got to do my late night exercises. So, I just wanted to come in and do that cosmic update for June because I needed to know as well. And here we go. Yep, this is good because look, Ace of Cups, and it is right here in the heart space. So we will be working this month to heal our heart, okay? To forgive people from the past, to forgive ourselves from the past, okay? Because again, with this, we could have been missing opportunities or we could have not been aligned in a way to receive the goodness that was coming because we were here, depressed, sad, lonely. All right. So we're working to rebuild our heart space, which the reading said something about the heart space also, especially as we're going into the end of the month, we'll be in Cancer. Cancer is motherly, loving, calm, peaceful energy. So we'll be healing our heart and then opening our heart bigger to shine, to take chances, to put ourselves out there more. And we start to achieve this Wheel of Fortune type of energy. Okay, so let's claim that. and have a good one.